Welcome to He's Been Doing It All Day. We're Adam and Simon. This episode is brought to you by the Carlton Draft. Check them out at carltondraftshirts.com. Check us out on YouTube. Just search for He's Been Doing It All Day or Insta at Been Doing It All Day. Today's guest is Zach Tuohy from the Geelong Football Club. But first, recaps from round 10.
Port Adelaide versus the Western Bulldogs. Let me take you back to a time long ago. It was last Monday, and it seems an eternity ago, but that's when round 10 started. Port started sluggish, which was kind to the Bullies. It gave them a sniff. But like all Bulldogs, they had some nasal issues, and their sniff was more of a stifled snort as the power ramped up in the second half. Number 36 for Port Adelaide, Boyd Timber Dick, kicked his first goal in his first game before the Ark cruelly took it back. Tommy Hanging Rockcliffe did all the grunt work, 15 tackles and 14 contested, but it was big Charlie Dixon that dominated at the front, kicking 2 goals. In the end, Port were too powerful and rolled them, Port Adelaide, by 13 points.
Brisbane versus Richmond. Someone must have built a time machine and transported me back to the qualifying final of last year at the Gabba. The Lions absolutely swamped the Tigers in all facets of the game, except the most important, goal kicking. Someone needs to tell the Brisbane boys that the scores are worth more between the big sticks, not the big and the little one. They kicked 4 goals, 17 for the match. The butcher and the candlestick maker must have had the night off because Liam Baker did the job of 3 men as he racked up 26 touches. Shea Lightning Bolton combined with NASA to launch a rocket from 70 metres for a goal, and Jake Arts and Crafts snuck 2 sausages in as well. If this game was decided on scoring shots alone, the Lions would have lost by 1. But it's not, so the Tigers won by 41.
The Roos versus the Cats. It was a double header on a Wednesday night. It took the Roos 20 seconds to exert their dominance over the Cats, but after they'd shown that they could kick a goal whenever they want, they chose not to kick many more. Lachlan Hosey did kick his first goal in his career. He then got to kick his second, but the trend of the night was that North tried really hard to score points, and the Hoops easily ran it down the field and kick a goal. There must have been a sale at Myers, because Brian Meyer was putting up big numbers. 4 goals for the day. The Tomahawk kicked 3, and Geelong won by 33 points.
Adelaide versus Melbourne. It certainly wasn't a game to remember for the Crows, and Will Hamill, one of the Crows' young backmen, took not wanting any memory of this game a bit too literally, as he was knocked into next month by an Alex Neil-Bullen sling tackle, which gave him a second dinner of the Adelaide Oval turf. Clayton Oliver Twist said, "Please sir, may I have some more touches?" and absolutely ran rampant. He had the ball 34 times, and Jim's mowing franchisee, the gardener Sam Weed, a man, slotted 3 straight. The chatter for a winless season is becoming a dull roar at the moment, as Adelaide are looking for a win like a man with a metal detector looking for $2 in a dried up creek bed. D's kick 7 in the last quarter and win by 51 points.
The Pies versus the Swans. Far out, this game was a flop until it wasn't. The Woodsman was kicking as straight as the first bend at Flemington, and the Swans took advantage, getting out to a 2-goal lead. Over half-time though, the Pies dialed in their sights and went bang in the third to pretty much ice the game. There were last gasps from the Swannies until the Macedonian Marvel returned. It was like the boy who lived. Josh Dacos summoned his father's talents with an absolute spectacular application for a new car. The main talking point after this game, though, was Isaac Quainer, as every AFL pundit acted like footy boots don't have the capacity to split skin every now and again. And if you rake them across someone's shin, more the chances than not, it's probably going to cause a big cut. Everyone's got spiky bits sticking out. It was the Collingwood Magpies by 9.
Gold Coast versus the Saints. If I told you in March that the Suns and the Saints would play one of the games of the year, you would have rightly told me to take a long walk off a short plank. This game seesawed more than my niece down at the local park. Sean Lemons made lemonade out of a crumb from a pack and dribbled one through from the boundary. Brett Ratton was caught ordering 4 goals from Jeeves, and his butler duly delivered and is firmly in the All-Australian conversation. It was a royal rumble as the King twins battled to see who came out on top, and I'm still not sure which one is which, or if they just swapped jerseys at halftime, so I can't help you on that front. In the end, the Sunny Boys' comeback melted and fell just short, and the Saints win it by 4 points.
Dons versus the Giants. There were no goals in the first quarter, which was a perfect way to finish a truly weird week of footy. Jacob Townsend went toe-to-toe with Heath Shaw's shoulder in a contest, and spoilers, He didn't win. That was his day done. The Dons legged it in the second quarter, kicking 6 goals, and the Rooster Sam Draper kicked his first career goal and was pumped up about it. The Dons looked primed for a pile-on, and that was until the second half started. The Bombers supporters were up and about, and much like their Carlton mates a few weeks before, they were happy to tell anybody that had listened. 12 minutes 30 in the last quarter, Jeremy Cameron kicked a goal from the goal square, and GWS took the lead for the first time. The residents of 3040 started burning the joint down. Cal Ward flipped and flopped around like a fish on a jetty, but it worked. He kicked the sealer. Naturally, Essendon supporters took it really well, sending death threats to Cement Head via social media. GWS by 4 points.
And that's it for round 10. All right, did you see how big Jacob Townsend's face was after he got knocked out?
No, I didn't see it. Huge?
You see it, Justin?
I just saw a photo of him like halfway through the game, and it was already had a massive egg on his face. But
It looked like he had a footy underneath the skin of his cheek. It was huge.
Mate, the thing about that contest was the commentators, they're always just super keen to tell you like if it's fair. And everyone watched it, and nobody watching that contest was thinking that Heath Shaw would get weeks. But all the commentators said for the next, 2 quarters, he's fair though. That's fair. We know, guys. We know. We've watched football. We see they just both went for it, and he's fair. So,
have you got a spicy take for us, Justin?
less a spicy take and more an observation. There's been 2 good games in the last 3 weeks. The Saints-Suns game was unreal. It was awesome.
Yep.
And then last night's game, I mean, it was good last quarter, I guess, but up until 3/4 times, awesome. Don't jump around and be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with footy. Look at this game. Anyone who thinks footy's terrible, watch this. There's been 1 good game in a month. Just stop it. You can't just do that.
Footy's back,
bro. Watch the 15 terrible ones and tell me there's nothing wrong with footy.
Nah, footy's back, mate. Footy's back. Attacking footy's back.
You're doing exactly what Justin has said not to do, Simon. I got a take for you.
Footy's definitely better though. No? You get 1 good game a week and you're like, oh, this is good. I like this football.
If the good teams play each other, footy's good. If the teams that suck play against each other, footy sucks.
It's been like that for 100 years. Why are we saying that football's so bad? When shit teams play each other, football sucks. It looks like football at the park. Have you ever watched club footballers? It sucks because they suck. So, when we have
at least they hold their position.
17th versus 18th, and we're like, oh, footy's really struggling. This is the worst. It's like, no, just these teams aren't that good. Shout out Kangaroos versus Adelaide.
I don't even think good teams against good teams is good footy at the moment.
What about
Mark Robinson from the Herald Sun has got in a little funk of he keeps tweeting down the ground shots of just screenshots of games, and he's right every time. There's 40 blokes around inside the 50 arc. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, what's the
and then combine that with the fact that you're allowed to just throw the ball and it doesn't matter. So it just becomes like fumble, tackle, drop it, throw it on the floor, throw it to someone, kick it down the wing, stoppage. We go again. It's just so bad.
It is annoying every time you see someone break from a pack, especially in their 50 or in the opposition's 50, and then they just kick it to the wing and there's no one there. Just no one. But what's the answer? Do you get it's just coaching and telling them to stay back and hold their position, or is it they've all gone Belichickian, I guess, where it's defense wins. If they score less than you win, rather than if you score more than them, you win.
You got to pay the free kicks when they happen. Clarko's right. Short term, it'll be bad because there'll be lots of free kicks. But every time someone picks up the ball and as soon as they get contact, they throw it on the floor. If you start paying that holding the ball, then all those players are going to move down the wing, and then away we go. And then we're spread out and we're laughing. For
an umpiring, a big hoopla about we're going to pay more holding the balls. There are so many less holding the balls that should be holding the balls than actual holding the balls.
The umpiring has been particularly bad. I mean, and I don't feel like, there's always about round, 8, there's always that cane in on the umpires suck, they're the worst people, blah, 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 they got to fix it, blah, blah. Mate, they're getting told 20 different things. It's ask dad says this, ask mum says this, oh, geez, what do I do? They're do they pay more? Do they pay less? What are you, Anyway, whatever. P.S.
I'm going to leave you with a player who's seriously on the up before we get to our interview with Zach Tuohy, Shea Bolton. Mate, that guy has absolutely taken the bull by the horns in the middle. He is going to be a star.
Mate, he's a smoothest mover. He so complements their team though. Like Kochi just goes in and under. I mean, he didn't play on the weekend, but one hand pass out and then Shea Bolton just is the smoothest silk. He is awesome.
Yep.
The biggest blessing in disguise for them has been Cochin out, Prestia not playing, and then these guys, Jaden Short, Bolton, Lambert, get like genuine game time in the middle. It makes you so much better in the long run.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating for the rest of the comp that the Tigers dropped their stars and got better. You're like, give me a spell.
All right, up next we got Zach Tuohy. Today's guest, Simon, is Geelong Cats superstars and genuinely one of my favourite footballers to watch, Zach Tuohy. Welcome to the show, mate.
Beautiful intro. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Well, we would also first like to congratulate you, Zach, because you have been named to the County Leash Mount Rushmore of sports stars. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah, you've done a bit of research here. Yeah, it's a very flattering achievement, that one, but I'm surprised you've heard of it.
Well, that takes us to our next question. What do you have to do to be Australia's greatest Irish AFL player? Like, what do you have to do to beat Jim Steins?
Well, I'm not going to beat Jim Steins, so I can tell you that straight off the bat.
Humble, good start. That's a very good start. That was the first check.
No, the guy's he's a legend, isn't he? But look, I'll tell you what I want to do is be the second Irish bloke to win a premiership. Ty Kennelly is the only one who's ever done it. So to even put my name forward to maybe be second, I think I probably got to do that. So that's certainly the aim this year, to win a flag.
Well, if you win the flag, because there's the famous Ty Kennelly jig on top of the stage, what would you do to better that?
I wouldn't better it, but I can categorically tell you here why, that if we win a flag, I will also be doing a jig on the stage. Because I figure, Tyger's the only one who's done it, so I figure if the next Irish bloke who wins the flag does it, it then becomes a thing that all Irish blokes have to do.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, if myself and Mark O'Connor, who both hopefully playing, both do it, I figure you'd want to be a brave Irish bloke not to do it if you ever win one of the stages. So I will be doing a jig.
Yeah, you'd get up there and win one, and if you didn't do the dance, it's like, I thought the guy was Irish. I could have sworn he was Irish, but he didn't do the dance, so I guess not.
Passport gets torn up if you don't do it.
Yeah, you can't come back.
No, not welcome.
I love it. Mate, so you've got the Saints tomorrow. Who takes Dan Butler? Because he had an absolutely roaring game last week. Is that you? Does that fall to you, or you kind of get to stay away?
No, I think I'll get to stay away from it. I've done my time playing under Nicky Smalls.
Good.
He's in phenomenal form, and he's obviously a good player. He's come from an incredibly strong team, premiership player. But he seems like he's just gone to a new level. So I'm going to leave that one to Hughes or O'Connor or one of those types. It certainly won't be me.
Yeah, mate, that's a good idea.
Experience.
Yeah. Now, Zach, we know that you love a snag, and we he's been doing it all day, also love snags. Last week you kicked 2 points versus the Roos. You unfortunately didn't kick a snag. Now, we're creating a team of players that we've entitled the Hungry Hungry Hippos, just fellas who love to kick snags. Would you like to be a part of the Hungry Hungry Hippos?
I would be so privileged because I'm the hungriest little Irish hippo you're ever going to come across.
Now, the only caveat to that is to be a part of the Hungry Hungry Hippos, if you kick a goal, you need to give the celebration for the Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Okay, what is that?
So it's arms outstretched and then fingertips to fingertips, kind of like the baby shark, but you're making almost like a big O because the hippos have got the bigger mouths. So if you kick one against the Saints, will you give the Hungry Hungry Hippos a shout out?
Yeah, I will. I'm not sure I fully understand it, so I might make a fool of myself, but whatever I do post-celebration is my attempt at what you just described.
Yes, we will send through a video. We've got an instructional tutorial that we've been sending to players, so we'll see. All you have to do is just kick a goal. That's easy. You can do that.
Yeah,
the celebration, that'll be the hard part. Mate, so we've got Mate, you are a man who looks like he should have been playing in the 80s. You've got a big ripping mustache. You've got the tats. You wear the long sleeves. Are you going for intimidating 80s footballer or Fitzroy hipster? Where do you kind of more fall?
Oh, well, I'm not really sure. Everything about my face has just kind of happened with not much forethought.
I say that about my face too, Zach, but people aren't as complimentary.
I don't feel like I'm responsible for any of it. I'm not, there was no end goal. It just kind of happened. Probably some combination of boredom and, I don't know, trying to draw attention away from the rest of me, I guess.
So what happens with the face during the hub then? Does it just go to new levels?
No, I think boredom has gotten the better of a lot of players. You've seen some shocking lids running around, which is good fun, I guess. I've decided not to cut my hair at all, so I don't know what it's going to look like at the end. And the moustache, I've had the moustache for a while, but
long time.
I've tightened it up around the side, so maybe it's just more pronounced. Big fan of the moustache.
Do you think that you have, or we certainly think that you have the best mustache in the league? There's blokes like Jake Lever's trying a mustache. I mean, there's a few fellas around who've had a crack, but you've almost got the trapdoor, which is where the mustache hair grows over the top of both lips, and then you just got the sneaky tongue that can poke out the middle.
It's like dad mustache.
Well, it's hard. The problem is, yes, it's big and it's glorious, and thank you for bringing it up. But in games, when you get sweaty, it's not very manicured looking. I don't feel like you get full effect if you're looking at it late in the game. You need to get me in the warm up or on the way in when it's just been blow dried and I've had a clean and stylish on it. That's when it's at its best.
Full glory. Hey mate, you can answer this next question however you like, but we're always keen on the next group coming through. So there's obviously some players that get more attention than others, but who at the Cats should be getting some attention that isn't? And you can take that for footy stocks, or you can take it for hairstyles and mustaches.
Thanks for the clarity. I would just assume you were talking hair, but I'll go footy. We've seen a few of our young lads in the last couple of weeks. Fogarty was phenomenal on the weekend. That was pretty much, I reckon, his breakout game, which is fantastic for him. Guys like Mark O'Connor, who've been around for a couple of years, but I'm not sure people appreciate just how good he is down back for us. Charlie Constable, who obviously had that massive knock a couple of weeks ago. But I reckon Cooper Stevens is one who jumped straight out to me. I reckon he's going to be a real long-term player for the Cats. He's made of the right stuff. He's got great leadership qualities, all that stuff you want young players to have. He's got it in spades. So I reckon, I think we'll see him this year, but I reckon you'll be looking at him for years to come.
Awesome. And so now that you're on the Mount Rushmore for County Leash, is there more pressure to go back and try and win an All-Ireland final for County Leash when you finish up here?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I've always said I will go back. And the plan at this stage is still to go back and play. Now, hopefully I'm playing AFL for another few years, and I reckon my body will be fairly bashed up by the time I'm finished. But I will almost certainly be going back to play for my hometown and county when I finish my career, as long as my body lets me.
Last question from me, Zach. What's the furthest you've ever kicked a football?
3 or 4 miles.
Perfect answer. That is the perfect answer, and don't say another word.
And we'll finish on that note too, mate. That is fantastic. We hope to see you absolutely launch one for the Hungry Hippos and for the Cats tomorrow. You are very much our favourite Irishman to ever play the game. So thanks for joining us, mate, and we'll talk to you soon.
Pleasure to speak to you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, mate. All right, it's time for our weekly award, Who's Been Doing It All Day? Justin, start us off. Who has been doing it all day?
I'm going down to the kennel. I'm going with a man from the Western Bulldogs. Got his first All-Australian nod last year, probably just because there's that many midfielders that it's hard to kick one of them out year on year. Jack McRae. He had 40 Ds.
Very good.
Last night against Brisbane. 40. Which in what?
40.
What are we running? We're running 80% game time, so that's like 54 Ds?
75% game time.
So even higher than that. What's that? 52 and a half something? I don't know. Who cares? It's a lot.
Oh, no, it is, yeah.
That's a lot of
80%.
touches.
It's a lot. It's a lot of touches.
Kicked a snagger. 25 of them handballs, sure. He still had 15 contested possessions. So the first thing I saw on it was like, oh yeah, but he just like gets so many cheap handballs. It's like, if getting 40 touches was so cheap and easy, literally everyone in the comp would try and do it. And like the biggest scrubs in the game would get 40 touches. It is not easy to do. It's so hard. He's a gun. I think I looked at his stats just then. He had like 39, 37, 40 like at the end of last year. He's freak of nature. He should get All-Australian again. And I love him. Good kick too. Been doing it all day. In conclusion.
Simon, who you got?
My who's been doing it all day should be who's been doing it for the last 10 years. I am going to the veteran, the great man from GWS, Heath Shaw. He's my who's been doing it all day.
Yeah.
He kicked 2 goals from the back pocket. That is outrageous. In a game that's separated by 4 points,
really?
2 goals from the back pocket is outrageous.
How?
2 goals from the back pocket. How did he kick him?
One was a 50. One, he got a very generous 50-metre penalty.
Mate, doesn't matter how you kick him. But he kicked him. He got 10 touches. I mean, he doesn't miss with the ball. 88% efficiency. He's a gun. And he's a full funny bastard as well because he did roaming Brian, but it was roaming Heath. And he just went through and stitched up so many people. He was the first one to get the scoop on Cal Ward maybe doing a little dippy dip. So he's a back pocket goal kicker, journalist, newsbreaker, and he also decked Jacob Townsend. So big rig.
Busy night.
Yeah, mate, he was all over it.
Yep.
Gun.
All right.
Heath Shaw.
I'll finish us off with my who's been doing it all day. And it's well known that the members of this show do love a couple of the boys up at the Sunny Boys. We do love the Sunny
Big
Boys.
fans of the Sunny Boys. We're a bona fide Sunny Boys Sunny Boys podcast. 100%.
Justin's now a paid up member.
Proud, passionate, paid up member. You know how it is.
One of the record.
Yep. So my bloke who's been doing it all day is Sam Collins.
Oh, yeah.
He is a genuine shout for an All-Australian gig. He would probably be the most underrated key defender in the league. He's intercept marks.
Yep.
He's taken the big blokes. He's taken the number 1 forward every single week and beating them every single week.
You're speaking my language here.
He's a
I'm
gun.
loving it.
Yeah. He got delisted by Freo, had to go back and play at Werribee, and then got drafted by the Suns, and now he's dominating. He's an absolute superstar.
Complimented perfectly by my man right next to him, young Charlie Ballard, who I think you'll know is on my son's badge that I got with my membership pack. So I'm just preempting a little, he's been doing it all day for Charlie Ballard in the coming weeks because he's 100% my man. And speaking of my man, Nick Hind on last Thursday night, what an absolute blinder.
I'll tell you what, the next thing for the Carlton draft, they need to bring out a shirt that is Stuart Dew, but it's like Mountain Dew, because the boys at on the Sunshine Coast, on the Gold Coast, mate, they've been drinking the Stewie Dew.
Yeah.
Whatever he's delivering, mate, it's working, because they've got that many noms for who's been doing it all day.
Go the Suns.
It's ridiculous.
Also, I'm just loving that Justin's team of his boys that are growing so far. It's Nick Hind on the half forward flank and Charlie Ballard at centre half back. I like Nick Hind. Nick Hind should be called like there's something in like Nick behind, like caught behind. Like he's definitely caught in the slips.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us for another episode of He's Been Doing It All Day, brought to you by the Carlton Draft. Check him out, carltondraftshirts.com. Check us out. The episode's going to be on YouTube. Just search He's Been Doing It All Day. Check us out. Instagram. Simon chucks up heaps of good stuff on there. Justin's doing heaps of good stuff at Been Doing It All Day. And we will see you for round 11. It's a bit of a funny week, but we'll see you soon.